I think I was muted that whole time. I am so sorry. I think so. Yeah. uh, actually muted. The first time that's ever happened to me. Um, I was saying that I wanted to go over the points changes from Chaos Origins. And these made me very sad. Uh, I was like really looking forward to playing Shadal at Nats this year. I wanted to play a lot of Shadal, and I just don't know if it's like reasonable to anymore. So I don't know if any of you are in the Peeps YGO Discord, but I was like lamenting my fate of having like 6 cards in your deck now cost 10 that you were originally expecting to cost 0. And he kind of said that I was being a bit of a crybaby. That's not the words he used. Those are the words that I'm using to portray him. And maybe he's right. So I would like to at least look at the Shadal deck this week to see if there's anything in it that can be like salvaged. To see, I have like a couple ideas for how you could build the deck with fewer copies of this card that still seem relatively strong compared to the weaknesses that the deck has. And the deck does have a lot of weaknesses. You lose to stuff like Skullmeister, you lose to stuff like DD Crow, you can lose to stuff like Ghost Bell that people are playing. Yeah, it is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, the Almighty Ferret Lord. The thing about words is there's a lot of them on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I want to see if there's like something we can do with these cards still. And maybe they will not see play and the points will come down, but I still would like to try them. But the Chaos Origins, the sneak peek for this set was this Friday at my locals. So the one thing that I did at the sneak peek is I've gathered a lot of invoked cards, and I do think the invoked cards are they're pretty strong. I mean, they're not pointed super highly. So I would like to try them out. Chat, I was a big invoked guy back in the day. I played a lot of invoked up through the I don't know, probably like 2018 to 2022. I have played a fair number of different invoked decks. Like I played some invoked Mech Knight in 2018. I played like an invoked branded Dogmatica Shadal DPE deck around the time of Tier Laments releasing. That was like the deck that I was on. It was every fusion spell that summoned from the deck, that sent materials from the deck. So I would like to try the invoked deck. I think it's a shame because I don't think these cards are legal on ladder yet. So we're probably either going to have to get points or matches in matchmaking, or maybe we can do some like viewer duels on Omega. That could be fun too. And I have a list that I was looking at that I like shamelessly stole from the Genesis Discord. Chat, I wanted to get your opinions. What are your thoughts on like do you think like lists are like people's copyright? Is that I want to give this guy credit at least for sharing this deck list that they made. Let me see if I can find their username. This was made by Lil Goat in the Genesis Discord, and it kind of looked pretty nice. It kind of looked nice with it. Let's take a look at the list. So this list is it's a Chimera invoked list, and the synergy here is that we haven't even really gone over the cards yet, but Iwas, this guy up here, this is a fiend monster, and when a fusion monster leaves the field, you can summon no, you don't own a deck list. It's a compilation of pre-existing material. Yeah, I don't know. It's it's a little weird, right? Because it is a list uh made by someone, right? Like they came up with all the cards that need to go together for it. But yeah, Lil Goat, he made this list. They made this list. I don't know their pronouns. So Iwas. Iwas is a fiend monster. You send it to the graveyard off of one of the Chimera guys that usually sends the Dark Barrier statue if the format isn't Genesis. So what this guy does is he summons himself when a fusion monster leaves the field, and you can banish himself to add an ALEISTER monster, and if he banished himself from the field, you can normal summon it. So this card is like the bridge from all of your Chimera starters into the invoked stuff. And ALEISTER himself, I think, is a 1-card combo. But I'm not super well versed in the combos. I've performed them a couple of times, but I will need to practice a lot, which is part of what this stream is for. I want to practice playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is important to practice when you play Yu-Gi-Oh! The nice part about this deck too is that ALEISTER is an extender, so if you draw him, you can special summon him from the hand. This card, this one of the invocation swords is like a consistency card, and the other one is like a way that you fuse on your turn and your opponent's turn. And then your normal summon for this deck are the Chimera cards, so Mirror Sword Knight, the Gazelles, and into Big Wing Baphomet. I think this deck is also playing the what's it called? Diabellstar Vengeance, which I think you can get off of Diabellstar, the White Witch, being sent if you don't need to send an ALEISTER. And I think Diabellstar Vengeance is a very strong card going first and second, so I was looking forward to playing with that too. It's pay half your life points, pop a card on the field. Pretty good. But I think first I want to at least look at the Shadal deck. So I was in the YGO Omega Discord working with this. So this is the list that I have. Let me save it, but I'm gonna have to get all these cards in there. I was in the YGO Omega Discord, and I think the way that I want to play this, if at all, if we're playing it at all, is I think you need 3 Lev Shadal Fusion and 1 Void Unleashing. This was like the people that play Shadal, this was kind of like something that we were talking about, because this card is like a little bad, right? Like for a card that's like good, it's a little bad. And what I mean by this is that it locks you. So it locks you, write that down. It's a continuous spell. So if this gets removed from the field before it resolves, it doesn't resolve. So that's like 2 things that are not great about it. And all it does is like send a fusion monster. So you can like send Apcolone and start your combo. It is a 1-card starter, but it's not fantastic for what it is. But the reason that I think it's worth playing 3 of this instead of more copies of Void Unleashing is that this card should always be live, more or less. I think there's very few ways you can build your deck where this card doesn't at least do something if you draw it. Where this card can only be pretty much resolved 1 time in your whole duel. So Void Unleashing, reveal 1 Shadal card in your hand, add 2 Shadal cards from your deck with different types, monster, spell, or trap. So the problem with Void Unleashing is you only really want to play 2 trap cards, and you don't even really want to play this card that much. So if you can only add the 1 trap card with Void Unleashing, there's not really much of a reason to play 3, and you pretty much have to dedicate your mesh search to the Void Unleashing. Almighty Ferret Lord says you're supposed to have at least 40 cards in the deck. You know what? That is true. We're gonna add some cards to the deck. What I think I would like to add is I want, or let me bring up the post. So I can reference past me's thoughts, because that guy is pretty smart. I'm sure he has some good ideas on what we should be playing in this deck. The reason I want to fix this deck is this is pretty much the only deck we can play on ladder until the Chaos Origin stuff gets is allowed. And I think that drops in early July. I want to say like July 3rd or July 4th. They're still doing like sneak peeks for it right now. All right, let's rush over. What does past out of characters have to say? He says you got to cut the non-engine for cheaper hand traps. We've done that. You have to cut the Infernoid Evil. We've done that. He says that we should play Wake Cups and Sonic Jammer in the side. So this is like the direction that I was trying to think of for the deck. And the idea is that when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you always want to do something that's like a little unfair, right? That's just kind of the game that Yu-Gi-Oh is. Genesis, I feel like it's a little less so, but even then there's a lot of decks in Genesis that are doing some pretty despicable shit in them. So the despicable thing that I think you can do in Shadal is play Sonic Jammer. This card, we were playing with it a little last week. You can set it, and if you flip it, your opponent can't activate spell cards until the end of the end phase of the next turn. So this card's very strong because you can set this up on your turn and flip it, and then on their turn they can't even use anything. They have to like set their quick plays if they have any, and if their engine requires spell cards like normal spells, or they're siding into normal spells, they can't use any of those. And the way that you flip this card is through like the deck's main playmaker, Rishadal Wendy Kuru. I think there's a Wendy Kuruhu. That would be how you would pronounce that card's name. So this card kind of works like, it's a little bit like Sol and Luna if you've read this card. It flips one card on your side of the field face up, one or more cards, and then you can flip cards on any side of the field face down equal to the number of cards you flipped up. So you can kind of like flip your monsters back and forth to use the Shadal monsters as quick effects or pseudo quick effects, disruption I suppose, and then you can flip the Sonic Jammer on your turn. Thoughts on Lulu Walilith and Wake Up Errol? I do want to expand the Wake Cup engine. So let's look at these cards. I do like Errol. We're looking for some main deck space. I think it's like fine to main deck a copy of this card. It seems strong to increase the number of guys you set on this turn. So the effect of Wake Up Errol is during your end phase, you can target one flip monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face down defense position. One of the issues with the Shadal deck is you need like a steady stream of cards in face down defense position, and it's a little bit hard to get them. So you can get them off of like Rash, you can get them off of Windy, and you can flip your own cards face down with Mocha in the end phase. But getting new ones, it's like sometimes you get to a point where you have exhausted your ability to get face down monsters, so another way to get yourself into that seems like it would be nice. I do want to play Lulu Walilith since we're not playing the Infernoid Evil anymore. So let's put that guy in there. The thing that I like about Lulu Walilith is you're already playing Grand Guignol, and this card needs a target. So if you're playing Lulu Walilith, you can summon it off of Grand Guignol's effect when your opponent special summons a monster with a monster effect. The Lulu Walilith is nice because it's like a disruption. It can get you into Cartesia, which you might be into already with the Grave effect, but it also like increases the attack of your monsters, which sounds like a crazy thing to be like excited about. It has an effect that when a monster leaves the extra deck, you can negate the effects of one face-up card on the field until the end of the turn, and everything is buffed by 500 forever. So this affects your El Shadal Mesh, which is like a towers like card, but it can be affected by your own card effects. So if you can give this like 500 or 1,000 extra attack, there are suddenly some decks that have no outs to it outside of like kaijus, which, to be honest, kaijus are very common in Genesis, so it's not like maybe the end of the game, but it can be very tough in certain situations. Ferret Lord says, "Are the wake up cards expensive in the physical game? I kind of want them." Well, I think they are not. Let me look at TCG Player. I don't want to dox myself, so let me make sure. I don't think I'm logged in. Yeah, okay, we're not logged in. Let's look at the wake ups. Wake, maybe like this. Yeah, these cards are all common. They're all short print commons, so it's likely that you have them. Yeah, they're all cheap. I have a couple copies of Kuro and Mocha. I think I need to get Earl and Machia. So I was thinking about playing siding like a larger package for going first, I think. So I guess with that you would like cut the restricts, you would play maybe 3 jammer, and then you would play a copy of this card, Machia. So what Machia does, this card is kind of like a, not a lupus. There's like a K9 guy that's kind of like this, that I am blanking on the name of, where you reveal it and a flip monster in your hand and special summon both in defense position. So you could use this to get Sonic Jammer out onto the field if you've already used your normal summon on something like Mathematician. I don't think it's great, but I think it could be a way to get to this more consistently. Swarm the field. Mm, I don't know. I don't think it's like, I think it's fine to try playing one copy of it. The other card I wanted to try, this is another card that I saw people recommending. We'll just cut like, what else are we cutting for this? Let's just leave it like this for now. The other card that I was looking at were Nightmare Hands. So this is like a starter that I've seen some people look at, where you can send an illusion from your deck to the graveyard, and the rest of it I think doesn't matter very much. Not really. You can, this has more effects in a dedicated illusion deck, but if you were playing it in Shadal, you would be playing it with it's called the Fleeting Phantom Mask Master. So this card has the illusion effect. If it's normal or special summoned, you can send one fiend, illusion, or spellcaster from your deck to their graveyard. So that would be like a Shadal, probably Squamata, to get you into your combo. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one spell from your graveyard and special summon it. So the combo with this is you play Nightmare Hands, you send the Mask Master, it summons itself by banishing the Nightmare Hands, and then you can send your Squamata, and then you're off to the races. It's a 1-card mesh. That doesn't require your normal summon. The issue with this card, it's only once per duel, and it can summon itself from the hand, I believe. No, it can only special summon itself from the graveyard. So you are playing like an engine with 3 starters and 1 hard garnet. So that can be problematic too. I don't necessarily think this card needs like a ton more consistency. What I'm most worried about is the non-engine. So this is a card that I think we can like keep in the back of our head and see if we need it or not. So with the deck list like this, we have probably, if we like cut the cyclones, we have like 27 points to work with that are left over. And I wanted to try and see, like, think about what we could fill out those points with. One of the cards that I wanted to play was some number of Ghost Bell, since I think this card is important for not getting FTK'd, unfortunately. There's a couple decks out there that will just kill you if you play too many board breakers. Ghost Spell is one of the cards that can help with that, but there's a lot of decks that do not care about it or will play through one for one is one for one hand trap very easily. 658060 says 3-in-1 where the one ofs is once per duel seems scary when you're also on fusion deployment and cart as a 3-in-1. Yeah, it's true. The thing about fusion deployment and cart is that I feel like it's a little less scary just because you can fusion deployment from hand. It's not great if you can do it, but yeah, it isn't fantastic either way, especially when the Phantom Mask Master cannot be summoned from hand, so you need a way to pitch it. And there are ways to pitch it, like you can pitch it off of Void Unleashing or Kuro, but it's not like the best card. It's not really where you want to be, and that's kind of why I'm not sure I really want to be playing this deck. um it's it just seems a little I don't know, it's a little tough to have an engine that is so costly that you would want to resort to something like that while also being on weak non-engine. Yeah. 658 says, yeah, but you need Grand Guignol still in the extra and for deployment to be live, so it's bad turn 3 draw. I don't know about you. I don't think you're like ever summoning this card. Maybe in a pinch you would summon this, like, but I don't know if this is like a card you ever make, surely. I mean, I know it is. I dump it off of Lev in full combo. Yeah, I guess you can do that if you're not using App Cologne off of Lev. It does make sense to do that. And I know it activates from Grave too. But I think turn 3 fusion deployment is just, no, that's fair. I have seen you play only 2 copies of it too. I think 3 copies is fine just because since we're playing fewer copies of Unleashing, having more ways to fuse is nice with the cart. So I'm gonna leave it like that. The other card that I wanted to look at, I'm still going over my right up here. It was like the beginning of the, no, that's not what it's called. It's the quick play spell, you final bringer of the end times. That's the one. Let's see. Let's try, I don't like Soul. I'm not too big on Soul and Luna, so let's try cutting that card. I wanted to look at, I wanted to try Pear Bear Scare. This card I know has seen a lot of popularity just because if you play 1 or 2 copies, you can like counter your opponent's Pear Bear Scare. I think this card's very interesting because if you play just the 1 and you draw it, it like goes to your opponent's hand when it's sent from the field to the graveyard. So your opponent can just use it against you. The gimmick of this card is if your opponent uses it, you can reveal a copy in your hand or deck, and the effect changes from popping a card you control to giving 2,000 life points to both players. So you're not like it's a strong effect. It's like a non-targeting monster pop, but you're not incentivized to play too many. Since it's almost like a card that you don't want to draw, because if your opponent's playing it, you never want to see it in your opening hand. But if your opponent's not playing it and you activate it, if you don't have a second copy in deck, it's like very bad since they can immediately use the same effect on you. So I've seen people like go back and forth about how many copies of this they want to play. I've seen 1 copy, I've seen 3 copies and I've seen 2 copies. And I've seen no copies too. Um, I want to try just the 1 copy. The Great Pear Bear Scare Debate. Hello, Eva. Nice to see you. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. My mind says that 2 copies is correct. I know if you play 1 copy, you don't want, or it's like best to not, it's the best ratio to play to never see it. And you could just play 3 copies because it's a pretty good card. Like it pops a monster with at instant speed. That's pretty good. So we'll try the 1 copy tonight if we ladder with this, because we still have to look at the ALEISTER deck. I want to try some test hands of that deck and learn what all the cards do, so that when the ladder opens up, we can, I can hit the ground running with that. That gives us like 13 points left. We could cut the cyclones if we want to play like Impulse. Rescue Ace Impulse is popular for this deck. It's a little costly though. It's paying for the sins of other people that have played it. And you can play Fire Attacker with that. I feel like a list like this, you're still kind of asking to get FTK'd though. Like it's not, we don't have enough cards here to really stop the opponent from killing you with Cosmo Neos or the Satellar Knight deck that like summons Bagel, or the artifacts. What's the name of the artifacts? Which one of these guys is the one that locks you? This one, Mjolnir. This is the card that they've been summoning to your field to lock you. With the high Shaddoll count, Impulse and Attacker is wild. I saw people playing the Quant guy. Yeah, the Impulse and Fire Attacker are very nice with all the Shaddolls. The Quant guy is like, so the card that Eva's referring to is Super Quantum Black Layer, which is a card that when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard a card and special it from your hand. I was seeing this a lot before the Shaddoll cards got pointed because you could use it to send like Squamata, or you could send Grista, and then you could use that to make like turn 0 El Shaddoll window on your opponent's turn. I think that is much weaker now. I don't really think if it was ever so there's 2 reasons I think it was weaker. It's weaker. The first is that people are just playing Chalice sometimes. Chalice, very good card, very good into Winda 1 point now. And then the fact that all of these other cards are so much more costly means that you can't really play Winda in a responsibly built deck, I think. Ferret Lord says, I deserve a dress like Ghost Spell. I think everyone deserves a dress like Ghost Spell, in my opinion. I think there was a new Call of the Haunted with Ghost Spell on it, too. They have that in here? Yes, they do. I don't know how you acquire this in real life, but it is a very nice looking card. So that's enough of the Shaddoll deck. We might play that later on in the stream, but let's get to summoning ALEISTER. Let me scroll through my million progression decks. Let's see. So we were planning on playing the ALEISTER deck that is mixed with the Chimera cards. And I'm gonna have to, let me see if I can like get this up on stream. Do a bit of live streaming technology. Let's see. Can I just paste it? Can I add an image? Okay. Save this. Save image is ALEISTER the Invoker. So WebP. I hate WebPs. WebPs are like the most finicky image formats for doing anything, but maybe it'll be fine. All right, here we go. All right, let's put that up in the corner here. I'll save it. Eva says, just gotta find one of them Ren Fair girls. The stuff that they sell at Ren Fairs is crazy. It's very impressive how meticulous some of those costumes can be. Same with anime conventions. The people that like spend all year working on their cosplay and showing it off in an anime convention, I'm always happy for them. Okay, let's see what else is in this deck. So I'm not Chimera is one of those decks that I've never played myself, so maybe that's a reason why I shouldn't try this out. um because I'm definitely gonna look like an idiot, but I've seen people play it against me so often that surely it's fine, right? Like surely nothing can go wrong if I pilot it myself. Um Oh man, this deck has Small World in it. I'm gonna have to learn Small World bridges too. I guess we could swap that out. Let's see, let's get White Witch in here. Let's get the Philia Diabel. Let's get the Curse of Diabel for our little Diabel Star Vengeance engine. And what else were they playing? They were playing Skullmeister. Eva says you just have to play SW for Chimera. Just yeah, Small World for Chimera, too inconsistent without. Yeah, that's unfortunate to hear, but I do believe you. You really do want to get to that Mirror Sword Knight. That probably is why they are playing just the 2 copies of it too, to get your ideal 5 mathematically supported normal summons. Let's get the Skullmeister. Then they were also playing Spell Card Monster Reborn. This card I think has always been kind of interesting. It was played a lot last year around Nats in the TCG as like a very versatile counter to Malice. Since you could use it to like get their Dormouse or whatever out of the grave that they're about to try and banish. And it can like really put them on the back foot, but it's also like it's very versatile. Like it's an extender. You can set it as disruption. You can use it to like summon your opponent's white binder from their graveyard. There's a lot of card decks in Yu-Gi-Oh that like to do stuff with cards in the graveyard. So this card is a very strong counter to it. And I like heavy polymerization. Heavy polymerization is good in this deck, particularly because of Hyper Invoked Aeon, which requires 2+ fusion monsters with different attributes. So if you banish like 3, you can probably do that and not kill yourself. And this card is just a bit of a board breaker. You can banish cards up to the field and graveyard, up to the number of monsters used as material. So if you can maybe do this with like 4, if you can find, if your opponent has enough monsters on field and you can find 4 monsters that don't kill you, because the other effect of this is you lose life points equal to the total attack of monsters banished from the activation of it. So what are we thinking here? If we do, it's got to be different attributes. So we could do a dark, a light, a fire, and that's probably too much. Dark, light, a fire, and an earth. You do the Oceanius too. I think you live through that. No, I think that's death if you do those 4. Maybe that's too many. You can definitely do 3 though, which is the minimum you need to activate the second effect of this card, which looks at your opponent's extra deck and banishes 3 cards from it. So that's pretty strong. Unfortunately, that's pretty strong. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! We kind of have to do that sort of thing from time to time. What else is in this deck? We have the White Forest Synchro level 4. the Poplar Synchro. Let me read this card since this is a card I haven't played with too much. This card is special summoned. You can target 2 White Forest monsters in your graveyard, place them in face up in their owner's spell and trap zones as continuous spells. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card you control. What are we using to make this, I wonder? How do you make this card? I do not know. There must be a way. Is it like... which of these cards are even tuners? Or do you make this card? Is this a card that you cheat out somehow? I know this is like something that you would summon off of Diabel, the White Queen of the White Forest synchro. But I don't know how you summon this otherwise. But surely there is a reason that this card is in the deck. Maybe we can figure that out. And then they're playing the Snake Eyes Synchro. This guy. Vengeance Dragon. I'm pretty sure this scales monsters. During the main phase, quick effect. You can target 1 face-up monster in the field or in either graveyard, place it in the owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Also, this card cannot use this effect next turn. So it's got kind of like a Mirror Jade sort of effect. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can target 2 cards on the field, 1 monster and 1 continuous spell, destroy them. This is very strong, and I assume the idea is that you use the Poplar to synchro summon into it. But how do you make this card? I just don't know. There's gotta be a way. This is gonna sound so stupid. Is the idea that you use spell card Monster Reborn to like steal one of their monsters as synchro material? That just doesn't sound right. I don't think that could be it. I don't know. Maybe we will figure it out over the course of the testing. Let's see. What else is different about this list? I think I have one. I'm missing 2 cards, which would be the Small Worlds. This is like net decking in real time. The Thievery is occurring. Let's see. And then there's also, it's still got 1 too many cards though, and I just can't for the life of me figure out what the extra card is. It seems identical. Oh well, that's fine. And the side deck is where the rest of the points for it lie. We have 3 Dark Ruler. How much is Book of Eclipse? Book of Eclipse was a card that I was looking at because it seems like it would be good into Melfi. It's crazy that Book of Moon is 3 points and Book of Eclipse is 4 points. That's wild. Book of Eclipse is interesting in fusion decks because you can use it to dodge targeted negation on your fusion monsters or on your monsters. So let's say we summon our Mirror Sword Knight, we use the effect to tag out into Big Winged Baphomet, and our opponent responds with like a Ghost Mourner or something. We can chain our Book of Eclipse, chain link 3, to set the Big Winged Baphomet and resolve the effect, even though it had been targeted to be negated. That could also be like an effect veiler or an infinite impermanence. You can use this card to play around them all. What's weird about that in Genesis is that those sorts of cards cost. They have a price. So you're not sure if your opponent is going to be on a deck that wants to play hand traps, whereas in the TCG, it's way more common for a deck to want to play hand traps. The Almighty Ferret Lord says, is net decking even a thing people complain about anymore? I don't know. I would like to think not, because I just realized that you probably make this with Chorozo, maybe? I don't know. I was thinking that I think sometimes people do. It's not the. I, I do think it's a lot more expected just with how easily available lists are these days. Only casuals, as far as I know. Yeah, to be honest, one of my weaknesses is it's definitely this card that we're not supposed to play, by the way. Let's cut that. I'm not very good at deck building. This is like something that I kind of realized at one point where I felt like a lot of the lists that I was playing were lists that I like found online and then I made one or two changes to, and usually the changes were not impactful or made it like slightly worse. I would like to improve as a deck builder. I think there's like some situations where the way that I build decks is fine, but the like I played a progression style sort of thing with some of my friends, I think back in like 2023-ish. And I did really well in that, like building from random cards that we pulled. But I haven't really done particularly well with original lists that I have designed for like TCG events of any significant size. So I would like that to be an area that I improve on, since I'm not really like a player that brews decks very often. I kind of just take a strategy that is kind of explored and pilot it to the best of my ability. And I think for the most part that's like fun, but I kind of am losing out on a part of the game which I think is very valuable. And if I ever want to take a step up in my ability to play Yu-Gi-Oh well. But we're not going to do that today. Today we're going to net deck. The next card we got a net deck is the Kaiju, the Radian, the multi-dimensional Kaiju. I assume this card is played because it's a fiend. Same with the Santa Claus. And we're missing a lot of the Chimera guys in the extra deck too. From what I understand, I think you would start with the Chimera part of this deck and then like bridge into the invoked cards. That would be the play. And they're playing a Hecka Hands card. I think this card is relatively generic. It's Hecka Hands Godos. Is this the hand trap? If a card is added to your opponent's hand except during the damage step, or draw phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field. So you can use this card in the Hecka Hands deck, I think, to get a monster that is owned by your opponent, since one of the cards is like a contact fusion that requires a monster that is owned by your opponent. Yeah, it's this guy. But this card just seems like it's an illusion that could be a decent hand trap in the right matchup. So I think and it's free, so we should put that in the deck. This card probably can also help you play through the Cosmo Neo stuff too. I would imagine. They're citing the Gamma summon that I took out. I think in their write-up they said they didn't use it that much, so we could probably cut that card. And they're citing another copy of the White Witch. Diabelle's the White Witch, I believe is what that card is. No, it's not, actually. What is the guy in the corner? Is it the other Diabelle's? The one that is there's one that's like I think it is. This is the Floodgate one. Let's read this card. So this is the one that says, if a Sinful Spoils card is in either player's graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon it once per turn. If your opponent must set spell or trap cards before activating them. I remember this, since in the Chimera deck, your opponent would would summon this and then set cards. It would force you to set cards if you're playing into their board. And if once you like set your crucial spells that like start your combo or whatever, it would be kind of a mind game because in the Chimera deck you end on like Chimera Fusion set in your back row. So you can use that to summon Guardian Chimera to like pop the cards that you force your opponent to set with Dia Bells. So it becomes a mind game of like whether your opponent is setting the card that is crucial to their combo or whether the card that they set is like just something to debate or to bait your Chimera Fusion and Guardian Chimera to pop. There are probably other ways to do it too, like with Diabellstar Vengeance, I suppose. Does this card pop face downs? Yes, it does. Very nice. So that probably is a nice combo with this. It's an illusion, so I assume that it's a card that you would want to send off of some of the Chimera guys. Let's get those cards in the extra deck too. So they're playing Chimera the Illusion Beast. They're playing there's I remember there's one that hand loops you, there's one that sends a card from deck to graveyard. And there is, I don't remember what the third one does. We're playing, okay, they want us to cut Oceanius, which is fine. Do we want Oceanus over Elysium? Elysium is like one of the old cards that nobody ever summons, which I think can banish a monster your opponent controls with the same type as one that you control, and this card is like all the types. We'll keep it in for now. I don't know if this card is like good. I can't imagine it being that crazy. We're also playing Purgatrio, which I don't think their deck is playing because they are playing an Examina card. Maybe this is how you summon the Poplar. Let's see, it's this one. Examina Moa Regina. One illusion monster, one level 6 or higher fiend monster. So this is a generic fusion. And you can make this with Chimera Fusion. Yes, you should be able to make this with Chimera Fusion, I think. So yeah, because it requires a fiend. When an Examina or Sinful Spoils card or effect is activated, except Examina Moa Regina quick effect, you can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy them. So you could use this with, you know, I have no idea. This is not a set of cards that I'm all too familiar with. What would you do with this? Do you play any other Examina cards? How does this work? Maybe this is a card that you just make to revive your Diabells, and that would be it. We'll try it. All right, let's do some test hands. Let's see, we'll enable shuffling. One of the things that I like about Omega is you can like test starting with specific cards and whether or not your deck is shuffled. I use this a lot for like reconstructing footage for my videos. It can be very important to start with a specific opening hand, and you can even do that like against in matches against real people. So you can use that to like reconstruct whole game states without having to reset, which I think in one of my videos I had to reset a bunch of times in Master Duel to like get specific hands to recreate a game, and it was just the worst, so I never want to do that again. So this hand looks like it has the combo of both Iwas and Mirror Sword Knight, which seems to me like something that you would be shooting for. Let's activate that. Then I assume you summon Baphomet. I know Baphomet locks you, but it doesn't matter because you're only playing fusion. I guess you're playing a couple synchros. Baphomet adds both the Gazelle and the Chimera fusion to your hand. All right, Chimera Basics, which is the first one that you want to go through? I'm going to try to reconstruct what I remember from this deck from memory. Let's see, let's read all three. This card is fusion summoned. You can activate this effect. Send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard during the end phase. During your opponent's card, you can banish this from your graveyard. Target one beast, fiend, or illusion in your grave. Special summon it. In the Chimera fusion, during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you have Chimera, the flying mythical beast, on your field or in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand or banish it, and we're never doing that second effect. I don't think anyone has ever done that second effect. So this guy counts as Chimera, which is cool. Do the other two count as Chimera? This guy counts as Chimera. This guy counts as Chimera. So this guy's the battle guy. He's an illusion and can attack a bunch of times. And it changes the opponent's attack to 0 and negates their effect. So you can use this to like heavily do a bunch of damage and hurt your opponent's board by negating and setting their attack to 0. Let's see, so that leaves Baphomet. So this guy must be the foolish burial monster. This card becomes Chimera while on the field in the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Baphomet once per turn. This card is fusion summoned. You can send one beast, fiend, or illusion monster from your deck to your graveyard during your opponent's turn. Quick effect, you can banish this card, then target one of your banished beast, fiend, or illusion monsters except himself and special summon it. This deck sounds hard. But I assume the right play is to Chimera Fusion. It's a little weird because I guess we won't be dumping the IWAS here. Like, I'm trying to imagine what the line is if you don't open this card. Since it would be something like you would use this and you would summon this guy using this card. Oh, he searches any illusion when used as fusion material. So I see why you're only playing the one Diabell Star Vengeance now, or White Witch rather. What does this card do when it's fusion summoned? You can target one illusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Oh, very nice. So we have Mirror Sword Knight to summon. So we'll add one illusion monster. We'll target one illusionist monster. That doesn't seem right. Then we'll activate the third trigger effect of Baphomet. Oh my gosh, this is so much. And we'll summon the Mirror Sword Knight. Send to the graveyard. This is where we would send our IWAS if we wanted to do that. I don't think this card helps in the graveyard. This is just so much. I think we're searching this card, the Diabells. We want another mirrors. I guess we could send the IWAS and pretend that we don't. Let's see. And we'll add. Oh, this is an illusion too. Very interesting. Okay. And then we can add back our Chimera Fusion. Now, I think ordinarily we would pitch this for Diabells. But you could also use it to fuse to make Chimera King of some beasts to hand loop your opponent. I think we'll do the Diabels first, and we'll pitch this. This is probably what I would go for in a real game. And then we have to send, I think it's Curse of Diabel first. Thank you for the follow, Farfa. Hello, Farfa. I hope you are doing well. Let's see. And then this card will search your copy of Diabellstar Vengeance. Let's see. And then you activate this. Get the Diabellstar Vengeance, and then you gotta banish a spell or a trap. That's would be the line from here. Oh my gosh, I missed so many chat messages. Hello. It would be this and that. Affiliate Diabell, then that buffs all your illusion monsters. This is like so much already. Holy shit, this deck is crazy. I remember the guy on the Discord said that he like misplayed the shit out of his locals with this, but it still like did so much that it didn't matter. This seems like the type of thing where you can like play it a lot of ways, and it's very forgiving, I would say. That's probably how you would describe it. It can generate a lot of value just through playing basic lines, but the ceiling of it could really increase if you had a more intuitive sense of what all these cards did. So let's do Chimera Fusion. Oh, and you can summon the Zamina Moa Regina here too, since we can control a fiend. I guess we wouldn't want to do that. Let's summon this guy and sack this shit, and the Mirror Sword Knight, because I think Mirror Sword Knight's still in the Disruption Engrave. And then that will trigger the Iwas. Thank you, Zenketsuke, for the subscription. Tsuketsuken 0. That is a mouthful, but thank you. I appreciate it. And then this like is what bridges us over to the ALEISTER half of the deck, since you can banish this card from field to add your ALEISTER, and then it should special summon it, or normal summon it too. And then this card can add, or it banishes a card on summon. So I guess I should talk a little bit about what the invoked cards do, since these, a lot of you all probably have not read them. I think the gimmick of this deck is you're basically fusion summoning using cards that get banished. And you do that with a card that we will see in a second, which is Invocation Sword. So this is like the replacement for Invocation that just got printed in Chaos Origins. The way this card works is you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control, and if you're summoning an invoked fusion monster, which you usually are, you can return banished monsters from either graveyard as material. So you can use this with your opponent's banished cards, but usually you're setting up a bunch of your own to fusion summon with. So in this case, we would be using Sword, and we're going to sack the ALEISTER, and I believe we're using this invoked card that we banished to summon, I think it's this guy. This is like some dueling book combos I saw the other day, and I'm trying to remember. I hope that's relatable to all of you. So we're gonna summon Babaron. This said Babylon. I don't understand why Babylon is like something that is problematic to have on your card. So this card, when it's special summoned, you can add Viracom, the Divine Spirit of Artifice, from your deck to your hand. Then you can banish one monster from either graveyard. So what this is for is I think this card gets your invoked sword back, I want to say. This card sets an invocation or a spell that mentions it from your deck. So you can use the invocation sword as a disruption on your opponent's turn. And then it also banishes a card from your graveyard, which gets you more guys in the banish to fuel your invocation sword's fusion summon. So let's banish a card. Let's see, and we want to banish this. So I'm trying to remember what you do with this. I think the idea of where we're going next is into Chorozo to get another fusion name into rotation, and then once we have 3 fusion names, we can make the Aeon. I think we'll just banish a guy that doesn't matter that much. Let's see. The Invocation Sword has a grave effect to return the ALEISTER to hand, which is cool. We're gonna be using its special summon condition to put it on the field, and that's what gets your Chorozo into rotation. This is like so much shit. Holy shit. And then from there, we'll use our Vikram. Veracom. I'm gonna have to learn these names so I don't sound like an idiot at Nats. I feel like it's a very, you sound very mentally powerful if you can pronounce all of your cards correctly. If you're like struggling on card names, I feel like it means there's blood in the water. So this is an effect that I did not talk about yet. So the reason why we sent this card initially is because it has a graveyard effect that lets you fusion summon using cards from your field and graveyard. But if you sound mentally unpowerful, they underestimate you. Oh, it's like what is it called? The Art of War, like never let your enemy assume that you are competent or something. There's like a quote from The Art of War that's exactly something like that. All war is deception. That's the one. So we'll use Sore Wrath. And we're gonna make Aeon using, we gotta use the Chorozo. Let's just use all 3 invoked fusions. Does this guy do anything? This guy definitely does do something in the graveyard. Oh my god, it gets back a banished beast fiend or illusion monster from your graveyard to the field. Holy shit. So that's this guy. It's like I can feel my brain expanding the more I click on these cards. So we'll use Aeon here. Aeon's funny because it lets you banish 1 card from your graveyard, but if you banish a card from your graveyard, it lets you banish the 3 from your opponent's extra deck. If your enemy thinks you're a dipshit, he will fuck up badly. Sun Tzu did say that. Yeah, I think he definitely did say that. Yeah, mistiming is somebody who I'm sure has read The Art of War once in her lifetime. Do that. I don't even know if you're supposed to end on Diabellstar or Diabell's the White Witch either. Like that's a card we could probably have used as fusion material at some point during this turn. And then if your opponent is playing like a 3 of extra deck monster that they very badly need to resolve for their deck to do anything, you get to banish that shit too. And then on their turn, you can use Invocation Sword to shuffle back these 3 guys and make another one. And that was, I think that was a 2-card combo. Like that's wild, right? Isn't that a little wild? And I wish that we could immediately go on the ladder and play this. But what we are going to do is we're going to find somebody in casual matchmaking and try and beat the shit out of them in real life. So let's hide this. And with our meager understanding of the invoked deck, I think it is time to queue up. You gotta learn by playing, in my opinion. So what I do know is in real life, we're gonna beat them up in real life. We're gonna take all their star chips and win nationals. So I don't think it'll let me, yeah, it says that this card is not legal yet. So I think if we go to casual, does anyone ever queue casual on this? Does it not let you play what the fuck, dude? This is so stupid. It's not legal because the cards aren't out. How are you supposed to test on this platform? I'm sure does. All right, chat. One of you surely has a Genesis deck list and YGO Omega installed. Is that correct? Is there anyone here that could play against my deck so that I could get one game of testing done tonight? Otherwise, I think we're gonna have to host a lobby, which I'm not like happy about because I think that shit is going to take like 5 years to get a game. Or we could swap to Dueling Book. I am very worried about Dueling Book. I do, but I'm away in Kentucky right now. I am so sorry. Maybe next time. Oh, no, not. Okay, let's just host one. It is now everyone's opportunity to play against a famous YouTuber, a major content creator. You can play against him right now. People on Dueling Book are scary. They are scary. I feel like for the just testing, it's fine. It's just on ladder that they can be a little. It can be a little interesting, we shall say. Let's just host a room. Does it let, it doesn't let me ready up. I hate this. I hate this game. Why are we not allowed to ready up? It's 100 points. The list is 100 points. Let's try it again. Card pool is OCG. The ban list is Genesis. Is it just because our ban list is set to Genesis? Nope, that doesn't work. How do you test this deck? Oh man, we're gonna have to play some Shadal. That's terrible. I love Shadal, but that's terrible. CG card pool, Genesis, ban list. It's just because the card pool is, it's too old. No, it's invoked Elysium. Oh, is this the card? Let me see. Invoked Elysium. Are we playing the wrong version of it? Let's try that. Ready up. Oh, it worked. Perfect. Okay, well, what if we, can we just do the fucking ladder? Do we have to bother with this shit? Nope, okay. We gotta bother with this. Okay. Oh. All right, chat. How long do you think it's gonna take for us to get a game? I know there are like probably 20 people that play Genesis on Omega to begin with. I don't know how many of those people are going to be looking for random matchmaking lobbies that allow OCG cards. 12 minutes. 12 minutes is the guess here. It's making me wonder if we should play a game while we're waiting. Let's see. All the other streamers, all the cool streamers, they have like the Wordle likes to play. Let me see if I have anything. Do you guys like Sudokus? Are you all a fan of Sudokus? I kind of like a Sudoku, to be honest. Let me go to every Yu-Gi-Oh player's favorite website, sudoku.com. And see how far we can get in today's Sudoku before we actually get a game. That's how you know the format is thriving. All right. Only 59% of people are able to solve this puzzle. I'm bad at it, but watching people play it is fun. Sudoku's like kind of, they like scratch a very problem solving part of my brain that I enjoy. The thing about, I had like a a fourth grade teacher who made us do them as like homework in order to learn like logical problem solving, I suppose. And the problem with solving Sudokus in paper is that the numbers at the end of the puzzle are very contingent on the numbers at the beginning of the puzzle. So if you mess something up, you don't really know until you've already invested like 30 minutes into solving a tough Sudoku, and it's terrible. Like it sucks to like come across the contradiction and have no idea where in it you went wrong. But we could get started. So the basic Sudoku strategy. If you're not familiar, Sudokus are a puzzle where you need to get one. You have nine rows, nine columns, and nine of these 3x3 boxes, and you have to get the numbers 1 through 9 in every box, in every row, and in every column. If you've ever played the visual novel 999, the last puzzle in that game is actually a Sudoku, which was very easy for me. Because I am very smart. Oh, we got a person. All right, let's ready up. Perfect. We don't actually have to play the mini game. We get to play Yu-Gi-Oh, which is much more fun. That's part of what's fun on paper, but in digital ones, but in paper it must be a nightmare. The nonary game. Yeah, it's the first game in that trilogy. All right. Surely Aravash, you have a list you can play against major content creator out of characters. Surely you are here to compete and not waste my time that could have been better spent solving Sudokus while we wait in queue for a Genesis match. Sleepy Doll. I would bring my Shadal list, but they destroyed it. I am so sorry. Would you like to bring the Shadal list that we made earlier on stream? I make variant Sudoku on logicmaster.de. I don't know. Let me try clicking on a link. Am I stupid if I click on a link? Wait height. I love waiting. I love waiting and not playing the game that I built this whole fucking YouTube channel and hobby around. I love just waiting. Let's kick this guy. All right. I think it's Sudoku time actually. I think it's Sudoku time. Let's see. I think this so an easy way to like start off is to check all the numbers and see if there are any boxes that can't be anything else. Sleepy Doll. I was gonna play Darktide when I listened, but I might cook up something for Genesis so I can pretend to be helpful for the stream. It's totally okay. If this like takes too long, we can just play Shadal. It's alright. I don't mind playing Shadal. See, so this number can only be 1 because there's a 1 in this column and a 1 in these two rows. So since there can only be 1 in every column and row, this is the only 1 in this box that can be a 1. Say that 5 times fast. So the same goes for this box. We can see that there's a 2 in this row and a 2 in this row, so this must be a 2. For this, we could check the other two. So this looks like it can only be a 2 since there's a 2 here and a 2 here. So this must be a 2. And then this must be a 2. Horus. Okay. That looks like somebody that we could play a game against. Nope, all right, never mind. That looks like somebody that will immediately drop off and get us to play more Sudoku. That's a Sudoku liker right there. There must be a 2 here since, okay, Squire, ready up. Oh my god, we actually get to play Yu-Gi-Oh on the Yu-Gi-Oh stream. That's crazy. All right, and we get to go first. All right. I am scared because I'm pretty sure that we have to resolve Small World. And I don't know what the bridge is for Small World. I assume Skullmeister into I would love to bridge with this card. We don't need 2 copies of this card, but I'm pretty sure Skullmeister can bridge into Mirror Sword Knight. Let's do Fualos into Mirror Sword Knight. Oh, you could do Iwas into Fualos into Mirror Sword Knight. Wow, this is really nice. Oh my gosh, this gets you everything. Holy shit. So we will do a variation of our combo from before. Perfumet. Get the Chimera Fusion and the guy. Activate Chimera Fusion, and we want to make this one first. Perfumet first. Using these 2. Then we'll activate Perfumet chain. I think Perfumet should be chain link 3. No, we should activate this chain link. We should chain block this card just in case of like Ghost Ogre, I think. And we'll do, which is the one that we care about the least? Illusion monster, special summon it. Add an illusion. So this one seems stronger in case of Skullmeister. Skullmeister is a card that I need to think about playing around in these sorts of decks. This deck's kind of hard. It's a little hard. It's a little difficult. We will add Diabels. We will send... We'll send the Iwa. We'll send Mirror Sword Knight, I suppose. This card I think is like a negate. Banish from the field or grave, negate. Okay, we'll add back Chimera Fusion. We've normal summoned already. So I think we want to, let's get through our Diabel stuff first. So Diabels send the trap, which gets the spell, which gets, let's not misclick, which gets Diabel Star Vengeance. I'm gonna have to use like 110% of my brain power. Let's see. Okay, I fixed my Shadal list. It's probably doo-doo, but we'll play it after this. Perfect. We get to play 2 games of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tonight. That's more than one. We should probably wait to do this till the end, but I'm going to do it now. In case of like Nibiru, it doesn't really make sense to do this first, but we're doing it first. Okay. And then I think we want to use this. Let's just use it. We're just gonna click, I think. We're just gonna click for a little bit. We'll use them. I guess we can use the Diabel's White Witch here. I don't think this card does anything on field, so let's just get rid of it. Get the Berfomet. No, we want this guy. Fuck, we want this guy. Oh well. That's alright. We'll use our Iwas, get our ALEISTER. Activate ALEISTER, special summon ALEISTER, send this card, get Invocation Sword, activate Invocation Sword, summon Invoked Babylon, put this card back from Banish, ALEISTER to Grave, Invoked Babylon, activate Invoked Babylon, grab Vericom. Holy shit. Let's use Invocation Sword to get back ALEISTER. We have used ALEISTER already. That's an interesting way that this differs from last time. Why can I not ooh, I was supposed to summon this here. Fuck. I messed this up. Oh no. Okay. Let's do it like this. I think this card is bad. We don't need these anymore. We don't need this card anymore. Let's use these. No. Let's use the 2 from the graveyard. Alright, this field is gonna be way worse. It's gonna be pretty awful, actually. Spanish this. Oh, let's banish the small world. And let's look at their extra deck. They are playing a synchro strategy. What? They're playing Crystron. So let's get Skeletus. Oh, they are not going to be happy about this. Maybe they will. I think Crystron can play to a limited degree without an extra. Let's get the in Black Rose out of there. All right, this is not take the elf note. I did not even see the elf note, so that is unfortunate. I think this is not what I should have ended on because I was supposed to summon this while the ALEISTER was still in the graveyard. But we are ending on it anyway. All right, so what do we got? We got a pop, we got a negate from the Mirror Sword Knight. This card can change attributes, which is useless. This deck is so much harder without the link. It is. Book of Lunar Eclipse. Set 2. If they set this card, then my negate isn't online. Let's... Oh. Okay, let's do that. We will chain. Because we banished the copy of the other Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beasts. Yeah, I don't really think I would have picked that card, huh? I would have probably picked the Diabellstar Vengeance, assuming this can be targeted, which I think that it can. Use this to add the other copy of Chimera Fusion back, I think. Oh, this is why they're playing the Poplar, because you can use... I see, I understand. The Diabell's the White Witch, lets you summon the Poplar, and then from there you can summon the Vengeance Dragon. Holy shit. Oh no. I think we're about to get one card comboed. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's see. Can I destroy my own cards? Nope. Let's see. Effect, you can declare one attribute. All other monsters in the field become that attribute until the end of this turn. Let's do that. Let's choose Divine. Yeah, and then I'm going to pay the price for not seeing the Elf Note card in their extra deck. Oh no, Regina is summoned. Special summon an Elf Note monster from your deck, except Regina. And none of this can be negated, which is so sad. Yeah. To be honest, I think even if I took the synchro, they could do some of this anyways, but it would still be real bad. Alright, they got Lucina, which is the Rhoda, and this is a lot of cards to chew through, though. And we do have quite a lot of good follow-up. If Elf Note is so great, why is there no Wolf Note? Checkmate, liberals. That sounds like a reference to like a piece of German folklore literature that I'm not familiar with. Okay, this summons this back, and they can make Crystal Wing here, which I did not get rid of. I should have been a little scummier and like, oh, they're playing Excel Stardust That makes sense. Elf is 11 in German's, Wolf is 12. Oh, I know eins, zwei, drei, vier, fünf, and that's about it. Let's see. Jade Dragon Knight. Alright, let's read this. If this card is synchro summoned, you can send one machine tuner from your deck to the graveyard. I guess this is the bridge to Crystron. Special summon it. If you use this effective Jade Dragon Mech once per turn, if this card is synchro summoned, is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish any number of tuners from your graveyard and target that number of cards and destroy them. So Tristaros, when you banish this card from your graveyard, destroy one synchro, and if you do special summon 2 Crystron monsters from your deck, also you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. I understand the synergy. White Boy speaks a little bit of German. Whoa. I call myself a bit of a cunning linguist, if you may. That gets Fortuna off of the Lucina. Regina again. Did they I think they Regina'd on... They did not Regina on my turn. Oh, did they summon it off of Welcome Home? Yeah, they special summoned it from the deck. They got the Rhapsody of Madness. This one is the negate. This is the negate. Yuck. Okay. This is like one of those Yu-Gi-Oh things where we have like suffered so much for the sequencing error that we made. It was like completely detrimental to our ability to play the game. And it's like one of the cool things about Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest, is that if you even make like a tiny mistake, your opponent can completely punish you for it. Let's see. So pop the monster, special summon 2 Crystron names. I am like kind of curious to see how this is going to go with Ellis Skeletis being banished. Let's see, and we should read the Fabled Monster. Effect, you contribute any number of Fabled monsters, and if you do, take control of that many face-up monsters your opponent controls, but their effects are negated. Okay. So, notably, since they flip these cards this turn, if they steal them, they can flip them face up. Let's see. Pop the Gazelle. Send Thistfern. This adds monsters when it's banished. And we got Smiger, which adds the inclusion. Oh, man. What a disaster. Add Citri. I don't think I'm equipped to, like, beat this. Like, I'm sure that somebody else in my position could win this game. I don't know if myself in my position can win this game. Synchro for the Carrion Gandrax, which is a banish 3. Yep, that makes sense. My girlfriend is forcing me to watch 2 white boys AI generate themselves as racist Chinese caricatures, and I'm losing my mind. That sounds like a very 21st century coded kind of problem, and I am sorry to hear that. Crystron cluster for the pop. Citri pops the inclusion, which can target a Crystron monster in the graveyard. And special summon it, so that can get back the Tristaros. Ooh, maybe I am dead. I am so dead. Do they have another level 7? Is this game? This is just game on board. Alright, free me from my mortal coil. Squire did play this quite well. I cannot be too upset. Very Epic Wizard says a particularly potent brand of poison. Living in the 21st century is kind of a potent brand of poison if you think about it. Well, let's just scoop and save them the trouble. All right. Okay, Crystron. I imagine the DD Crows are something I want to side in for this matchup. I think the spell card Monster Reborns are good. The Small World's crazy. This card is so good in this deck. Oh, but we need a Fualos for the bridges to work, right? We need a Fualos in the deck. Yuck. We should side out the heavy polys. We'll side into Diabels. We'll side into this. Being in the 21st century is toxic, and baby, I'm an extremophile. I'm of the opinion that I'm like happy to be born in the 21st century. It could be way worse than it is. I don't think I'm like a particularly optimistic person, but holy shit, I'm happy I'm not like dying of plagues. Like I could be like vomiting in the street right now covered in dirt, dying of plague. And instead I get to play Yu-Gi-Oh on my computer. So whenever I get down on myself, that's something that I think about. All right, we did open a very similar combo to last time. So let's do it correctly this time, and can all go home feeling happy for ourselves. Oh, Squire has a card that does something. You hate to see it. You hate it when they have a card that does something. You hate it when they have a response to your card effects. Let's see, we will do this. We will do this. Let's do Perfumet. We'll keep the I think we'll keep the Gazelle in hand. So we could use that to make the guy that hand loops later. Do this Chainlink 1 to play around, Skullmeister, this Chainlink 2 to summon the Mirror Sword Knight. The 21st century is poison, but we also got Pokemon champions and shiny Mawile, so I can't really complain. That's kind of where I've landed at. Like there's so much shit that sucks. And this is, I don't want to excuse the things that suck about the current political climate or whatever, all that kind of stuff that people just love to talk about. We needed to use this though because this is the guy that searches our illusion. I'm going to crash out, guys. We'll send Iwas here. Oh my god, I'm going to lose my mind. This would be a good card to like Ghost Bell or whatever. It would be an alright card to Ghost Bell. Born too late to explore the earth, born too early to explore space, born just in time to rotate Mawile in my head and dress her up in cute Jirai outfit. It really is the case, huh? True. Can I get a true? Born just in time to like know what a gotcha pull is. Oh, it's Regina. How many points is Regina? That's kind of wild that you can play this. Let's see, we have a trigger effect. Special summon an elf note monster from the deck. I think I don't want that to happen. I think I don't want that to happen. Did I get baited? There's no way to know. There's a way to know, to be honest, but doesn't sound like something that I would know. Let's see. So we want to make this card to make them start with 0 cards in their opening hand. I think this Regina will give us something nice to banish on their turn. So let's do the graveyard effects early. Do this chain link 2, then we'll do this chain link 3. Since I don't think this card is super valuable on the field, You're gonna want it in the graveyard. Maybe that's a reason to make this first. I gotta like brush up on my Chimera combos before I order these cards. And then we'll add the Bell's the White Witch. What about this card? Can special summon. Do we have a sin? I don't think we have a Sinful Spoils card. I think we'll just get we'll get Diabells. We'll go with what we know until we don't have to anymore. Let's do, so I think we want to end with both Diabells and Diabellstar Vengeance. I don't think we need the sword. I don't think we have enough time to make an informed choice. This card has like 3 effects though, right? Yeah, let's keep the sword. Let's just dump some more cards from their extra deck and play extremely ignorantly. We'll send the trap, activate the trap, add the spell. Born just in time for CL1 Rhino Heart, CL2 Scream. That is so true. On the Out of Characters channel, we love CL1 Rhino Heart, CL2 Scream. Banish these 2 and this one. The Gamma Summon does give us another trap to for our, what's it called? Our fucking Diabellstar Vengeance on the crackback. Let's use this. Am I gonna have enough zones, chat? I think this is like a zone problem. Yeah, we want to normal summon ALEISTER. It's in the stream title. We got a normal summon ALEISTER. We want to banish this one. Then add a copy of that. Vanishes for cost. That's crazy. Okay. Now I think we need to think for a bit. So we have to do this effect. We have to use Mirror Sword Knight and ALEISTER the Invoker to make Invoked Babylon here. That is the correct play. We could use the one from Banish. That's crazy. I want to use the one from Field though, I think, even though it's a little less sexy. Then we'll use that to get the Vericom. Banish 1 monster from either graveyard. Yes, please. Get that shit out of here. So this is what we messed up game 1. We have to do this here, because otherwise our ALEISTER is no longer on the field or in the graveyard. This is what gets us our Invocation Sword, and that would have been very nice last game. Just link for IP to clear zones. I wish. I think we're locked into fusions anyway. So that's not really something we could have done regardless. We still need zones though, right? Like we still need to make fucking Chorozo. Oh no. How do you do that? See, special summon 1 iOS, look at 3. Alright, let's do this. This looks like an Omega moment. What the fuck? I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. Let's get that shit out of here. Yep, okay. Very cool. Yeah, this is like not what we wanted. Let's destroy this. All right. I'm gonna have to practice, chat. Like, I need more space. We just need more room to make monsters. There's just too much gas. Like, I guess I should be using monsters from field more often. Like, there's no reason for this card to be on the field anymore, I don't think. It's like making me think all kinds of things. I think when you make Invoked Babylon, you want to use 2 monsters from your field, but It can't be this card because you needed it for Vengeance for the effect to summon Poplar. Can't be this card because it's not a light or an earth monster. And this card is what you search off of it. So Poseidra, the Storming Atlantean. What is this? Sure. Sending heavy infantry, which will pop a card that I control. I don't care about that. And this is like a bounce, right? Let me just read it. Then target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Okay, well we have to use it now. We can negate it, but I don't really think it matters that much. I think it's fine to use it here. We don't get the Poplar stuff, which maybe is important. I think this doesn't matter. That is totally fine. We don't care about that. So now this card can trigger, which it's a Banished Beast Fiend or Illusion, special summons it. What does this do in the graveyard? You can banish this card from your graveyard and then target a Banished Beast Fiend or Illusion monster and special summon it. So they both do that. Okay, cool. Search a Crystron monster. Yep. Smiger. Not messing that name up. Book of Eclipse. Yeah, that's fine. Our last remaining interruption is the... We have two. We have three. We have the... Okay, here we got to be very careful because I think we want to use effects here. So we have the Mirror Sword Knight, which I don't think works on cards in the graveyard, but I could be wrong about that. We have the Invocation Sword, which is what we are going to use here. So I want to make Aeon using this and this. Oh, this doesn't do anything. It does do what we want. We just want to banish some cards. We want to banish every card that says Crystron on it. Yeah, we get to banish 2 since we only have 2 fusions in rotation. Oh, what we should have done is we should have banished some of the Chimera cards to give us more bodies for the Invocation Sword. Oh my god, yeah, okay. Okay. Very good. Nicely done, me. Okay, let's side. We get to play game 3. Let's see. I think we want some kaijus. Some Dark Rulers probably is good against this. I can't imagine Skullmeister is fantastic. I can't imagine Ghost Ogre is fantastic against the deck that wants to destroy itself. Ghost Ogre could be okay against like the Elf Note Continuous spell. I don't remember the name of that card. Or if it can be destroyed by card effects. Let's do... I'm like thinking about siding out the entire Diabellstar engine. But I feel like, I guess Diabellstar Vengeance is good going second if we can get to it. So we'll keep it in. What does this look like? How's this look in chat? We could side down to like 1 Chimera Fusion maybe. I think this is probably fine. I'm like wondering about the Skullmeisters though. Let's just keep it as is. I think Skullmeister is probably good against like Alice Skeletus or something. It's like one of those situations where you have too many cards for the matchup compared to the slots that we have to side. But I am very afraid that this is a deck that can just like FTK me going first. Sulfafnir, discard a Crystron card, acceptance. Special summon this card in defense position, then destroy one card you control. Sure. Discard the cluster, which I think they can get back. Special summon a Crystron in defense. I'm now wondering if the DD Crow is like, I guess we're gonna use it on Tristaros when they get that into the graveyard. Sure. I'm not actually quite sure which the best card is to Crow against Crystron. See, they sent Smiger, which adds a monster or spell trap, and then Thisburn, which adds a monster. Let's be patient. Yep. I think I am going to wait for Tristaros. Whether or not that's correct, I guess we will see. It's like, I think if we keep them off of inclusion, they just get Tristaros anyways. If they keep them off of it, Tristaros, they search it with inclusion. So it doesn't make much sense. Is there a single card game that is as fun to watch as Smash, though? That's a good question. I wish the answer was Yu-Gi-Oh! But I don't think it is. Maybe Uno is sometimes fun to watch. Is that like a very depressing answer? I don't like Uno very much. Can special summon one Crystron from your graveyard or banishment. No, that's not. You can add one Crystron card from your graveyard or banishment to the end. Yu-Gi-Oh is close. Poker might be the answer. That is true, Sleepy Doll. Yu-Gi-Oh is fun to watch when you know what everything is doing. Otherwise, I am not always so sure. So this is the part where they use Sulfador to pop. No. Tristara. Oh, we were supposed to do it there. We were supposed to do it there. I lost my train of thought. No. Oh no, what a disaster. I had the whole plan. We were supposed to pop the or banish the Tristaros. Poker is an awesome game. I wish that's a game that I've wanted to try, but it's like one of those games where the only way to get good matches is to put real money on the line. Gamble more. I don't play for real money. I feel like playing for real money is like part of it though. Like I don't know if it's as fun if you don't play with real money. But that's like a very obviously that's a very privileged take on it. But I think like part of the allure of poker is that there's something on the line. Wow, this is a fucking disaster. This DD Crow is just looking at me so sadly. I think the thing about poker though is like it's gambling, but a lot of the time it's like not gambling. At least if you're playing in person. The like observational element of it, like looking through your opponent's tendencies, that's like a huge aspect of it. Inclusion, yep. What is this card? That is a card that I have not seen before. Crystron Impact. Oh, that is a card I've read before. This is an old Crystron card. Okay, it's a negate, and it reads summon Tristaros. Let's see. I think I'm gonna use the Crow here. I think I probably should have done it preemptively, but yeah, we definitely should have done it preemptively, because this gets... I guess it's gotta be Citri. And then they're going for the line that makes the jet synchron stuff, right? Secret Village. Who is up invoking their ALEISTER? We were. I don't know if we're going to be doing much invoking of ALEISTER this game. Impacting their Crystron. Squire is impacting their Crystron real hard, it seems. Right. Got Excel Synchron. So this, yeah, this is going to send the jet. No. Now we're going to do the Elf Note stuff. I don't know, chat. I'm not feeling too optimistic about the lone performance of Mr. Radiant here. That's the... So they have Cluster and Inclusion and Tristaros and a Mystery Spell Trap and Rhapsodia and Dawn Dragster that's eating this Kaiju. This is also an Omni Negate, though. Yuck. We have Heavy Poly. Heavy Poly's huge. Yeah, I guess our plan is to try and bait the Rhapsodia after we Kaiju the Dawn Dragster. Oh, can we get rid of this? No, this doesn't work. They don't have an Elf Note monster. Okay, I think we're actually fine? Question mark? Are we fine? Are we fine to just rip the Heavy Poly and banish 3 cards from their fucking board? How will ALEISTER negate multiple spells without me? That is a good question. I don't think he can do that. All right, we'll do Heavy Poly. Heavy Poly, take Squire's lunch money. Oh my god. Oh, ooh. You hate to see that. Okay. That is like as bad as it could be. Crystron Impact. Yeah, we're getting back the Tristaros. Not feeling good here. I don't know, actually. Like, this doesn't do anything. They have a pop and a mystery spell trap, and that's it. Use the effects. Okay, so it's online now. All right, sure. Let's see. All right, let's... I think we want to end on the invoke stuff, so let's see if we can... Let's try passing priority. What do you think they, like, preemptively try to negate it? That would be very stupid, huh? Okay, of course. Naturally, that's not resolving. Heavy Poly? Yeah, I could stand to lose a few pounds, but my partners don't mind. That's very stupid, but it made me laugh, so I guess that is okay. Oh, what? Brother. It just happens to be the level that makes this card. That's crazy. It just happens to add up to 12, because 5 plus 7 is 12. I did not know this card had a quick effect. I am not going to lie. It is a quick synchro. Okay, very cool. This is fine, though. I think it's kind of okay. It's, like, not okay at all. I will not lie, it's not. I think this is very far from okay, I would say. So this is where they negate, summon the elf note. Sure. Why did that not work? They don't control a synchro monster anymore. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. Okay. All right. We'll send let's summon this guy. I think maybe we win actually. I think maybe we are in a good spot actually now, cuz now we have a check for the Tristaros and Mirror Sword Knight. We don't have another illusion, but I think it's worth negating it. Let's add Diabells because we now have a continuous spell we can use. Let's send another Mirror Sword Knight to the graveyard because it's an illusion. This is an illusion. Could we what chain link is resolving? We've activated. No, it's too far gone to resolve. Okay, we gotta send this. Let's add back this. Now we can. So let me double check this card. You can send one spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard. So this is not a spell trap card, so we can use our Baphomet for that. White Witch. I think they're cooked. Not to call it too early, but I think they are in a very bad position. Let's see. So this doesn't have a target anymore. But we can use the heavy poly and the trap from grave to summon this. Very nice. And then we can do ALEISTER stuff. Fuck. I think we want to do this. Special summon. Oh my god. I can't believe we I think we've made it out. That's crazy that we made it out, but I think we've made it out. But I'm gonna focus up. Make sure that we don't make any mistakes that from things that I could have reasonably understood to play around. Let's see. I made John characters laugh. This is going in my peak moments list. You know, honestly, I think it's going to be made clear that it's not that hard to make me laugh, unfortunately. My standards for laughing are not very high, which is often a good thing, but sometimes can be a bad thing. Let's do this. It's got to be this and this. I don't know. I don't want to run into the problem that we ran into last time, though, where we're lacking in material. Let's grab this. So I think, yeah, let's banish a monster. Let's banish a Crystron monster, like this one. Let's banish that guy. Okay, what does this do when it's destroyed? I don't think it does anything, actually. I think we should try to OTK. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use Chimera Fusion. We're gonna summon this, using this and that for board space. Then we are going to activate Vikram because we have an ALEISTER in grave. We're gonna activate Vikram to add set invocation sword. We're going to activate this to add back ALEISTER. And then we're going to activate ALEISTER, targeting this to add attack to it and summon. And then we can make Rozo using these two. This is like what we messed up in game 1. And then we'll use the grave effect. What does this guy do in grave? What the fuck is going on? You can banish this card, target one fusion monster you control, currently lose attack. Okay, that doesn't matter. make hyper invoked Aeon using these 3 cards. No, not that guy. These 3 cards. Hyper invoked Aeon banishes 3 cards from either player's fields. So we want that, and why can we not banish Tristaros? What the fuck is saying that we can't banish Tristaros? Who says that we can't banish Tristaros? Alright, we'll banish this. We'll banish 3 from the extra. We'll banish this. Let's see. Bellosqueletus. Can this attack directly? I don't think so. I think we gotta go to battle. It can't attack directly. It's a disaster. It's a fucking mess. Oh my god, it's a disaster. They're on 100. No! If we had summoned this card in attack position, we would have won. Oh my god. I am washed. We go through all of this, and it's still not enough. Is this card... This is Chimera. Okay. I don't think they can win, but... Oh, fuck. It's a disaster. It's okay, chat. It's okay. It's gonna be... It's gonna be okay. We have a monster negate, we have a pop, we have another 3 that we can destroy. That doesn't do anything. Sure. We have another banish 3. Okay, let's just wrap this shit up. Make our second 15-point monster using these 3. So sword like unbanishes them, like. So let's get the fucking Tristaros. Let's get these 3. Let's get, no, we gotta get this card has text on it, doesn't it? Crystron cards you control cannot be banished by your opponent's card effects. Okay, I understand. Have a nice day. Let's take 3 cards from their extra. Because Invoked is a very fun and cool deck that everybody loves. Show me that extra. Okay. Then we'll destroy the cluster. All right. We'll go to battle. All right, I think that was like way more complicated than it needed to be, but we did come out on top. Holy shit, what a match. Oh my god, what a match. That was a lot of fun. I think this deck has so much gas to it. It's like crazy the amount of stuff that you can do on one turn in fucking Genesis of all things. Thanks to, I don't even know how to pronounce your username, Sigambas? Shamboss? It's gotta be something like that. Alright, Sleepy Doll, did you want to play a game? Did you want to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! The trading card game Genesis format? I'd be happy to play. That is wonderful. I don't know if I'm friends with you on Discord. Let me see. Squire11 follow. Thank you very much for the follow. I certainly think that there is a Discord server we are both in. Thanks for the game. Thank you for playing. It was a ton of fun. I'm sorry for tossing the first game. I should read more. I should also read more. That is something that we both share. But I am in your server and we're both in Ian's. Yeah, I just sent you a friend request. So I will host a private lobby. And then once you accept the Discord friend request, hello, I will send you an invite. There you are. All right. It is time to play. I'm excited to see the new version of Shadal, if only to confirm my suspicion that I do not want to play this deck at the WCQ. It's not letting me pick your list. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Let me remake the lobby and let me just take off all. I'm just gonna make the ban list unlimited and trust that you are playing cards that you should be playing. Yeah, I don't it's like been very finicky to me about some of the new cards like the OCG or the cards that have been recently released. I don't think it's a bug, but maybe it's a bug. They've known to not be always, or YGO Omega hasn't been always correct on like what cards are legal when. I think when Justice Hunters came out, I like played a match 2 weeks before the cards were supposed to be out, and somebody was playing like Crystron K or K9 Vanquish Soul. Invalid amount of Annoyatilis. Huh. Oh, let me. All right. Third time's the charm. Let's try it a third time. Let's do all card pool. So now you can play all your like dual link skills that I know you had in that deck. All right. All right. How is that? Perfect. I will go first. Okay, so we have drawn the Curse of Diabel. The nice thing is that no, I think this is like the worst one to draw, right? This one's really bad to draw. This one we haven't drawn any of the Chimera engine actually. I think the invoke stuff bridges into Chimera. The Chimera stuff does not bridge into invoked. All right. Goodbye. See you later. So we're gonna have to do like the one card invoked combo, which is honestly a bit of a relief because we'll actually be able to have all the board space we need. We'll add the sword. We'll use the sword to summon the Babylon. So these two. Babylon gets us the Vericom. We don't banish a monster here, I don't think. Activate the Vericom. We can't add sword here, unfortunately. So we're supposed to do this because we drew the second sword. Buff the attack, summon ALEISTER, link off into Torozo, and then here we banish for 3. Is this too mean, chat? Is this like this seems a little mean just because we're supposed to summon this in defense. No, we're definitely supposed to summon that attack. Oh well. Like this is the one part of this deck that seems a little upsetting. I think we want the what does this? Let me read this card. This card is in your graveyard. You can target one ALEISTER monster invocation in your graveyard, shuffle into the deck, and if you do, add the targeted card to your hand. So I think we want to send this. And then show me that extra. Show me that extra. What do we want to take? I feel like we could just take the mesh. That would not be bad. We could take Grand Guignol, App Cologne, and then like Evil, I guess, if we want to blank like things to send off of Lev. I think those are like the two options. I think that's actually the option that I want to go for. It's like these three seems like it makes the most sense to me. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a terrible choice. My bad, chat. I knew, oh, I forgot that it did that. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's all right. See what Lily has in store. It's like, I feel like that effect just never came up for me. Lev should all send one fusion monster. Um, we don't care about that. Yep, we're fine with that. There's like no good sends here. We've taken all the good sends. Like this part of the deck, I think, is like one of the most toxic parts. The fact that you can just banish 3 from your opponent's extra deck. What does this do? Target, add it to your hand. Yeah, that's fine. That is okay. Void Unleashing. Sending Swamada. That is strong. Very powerful. Let's see. Yep. I think that is alright. I think we want to use the second Aeon to... I don't know. The Shaddoll Fusion's a little scary, I will say. Sure. Windy is fine. So what we could do here is we could banish another 3, setting Swamada. I think it's okay to let them Shaddoll Fusion. If they're gonna Shaddoll Fusion, I guess they get to pop this anyway, in which case we should use it now. I think it does make sense to use it now, actually. So we can take all the meshes with this, and then... I don't know. Shaddoll Fusion, sure. Using these two, yep. Let's grab, we'll special summon this. Using this card, and this card, and this card. Oh, but they can negate it. Very interesting. I guess we should have done it earlier. This could be very bad, actually. They're gonna negate it with Shekanaga anyway. What if we just use our Skullmeister here? I think that makes more sense. Yeah, let's do that. So that'll negate the Grista effect to fuse. Sure. Decatron! I did not expect that at all. I think our banish was a disaster. Oh man. Do we actually get to play the game? That would be crazy. So this is going to be the mesh, I assume. Now, here's the other thing. How do you get this card off their board? How do they get this card off my board? It's like got to be construct, right? Like I don't. So since we banished their one of App Cologne, I don't think they have another dark that they can use to remove this from the board. Yeah, that's okay. I think I'm okay with that. I think our like solution from here on out is that we have to like destroy every card in their deck, unfortunately. But I do think they can get over these. It's just gonna take a while. We can't Ghost Ogre this because it's a Towers monster. Hmm. Them opening the Shadal fusion was like a very beneficial. Her opening the Shadal fusion, I should say. See, sure. So she's not going for construct immediately, which makes sense. Yep. The shuffler is like a little problematic, I will say. Set 1. That is the Squamata. Sure. Yep. That will pop one of the Aeons. Sure. In retrospect, I definitely think taking the 3 mesh was probably the better choice. The fact that Shadal Fusion is like a very strong option into this card is tough. Yes. Oh, you know what? We could have ogred the Lev Shadal Fusion. I did not think about that. That would have been smart. Um, yeah, that's okay. And with that, all right, spell card Invic Monster Reborn. That's a very interesting choice. So let's do. Elysium's a little weird because Resh can out it, like for any attribute. I think we want a Mikaba. I think that's what we are fiending for. So let's do this to get back the ALEISTER. It's a little weird. This card's very good. It's a shame that we have not drawn into our Chimera stuff yet, but these things happen. Let's see. Are any of these generic? I think one of them is Beast, Fiend, or Illusion. What do we have? We have a Fiend, and what is this? This is a Pyro. Okay. Sure. Got El Shadal Fusion. To send Squamata Decatron. This card doesn't do anything against us. We will banish. I think this makes sense. Get back the sword. Oh. Four. I wonder what other Shaddoll she's playing. She's got the Windy to set up a larger flip on our turn. Very interesting. Let's see. Yes. What could it be? Hedgehog. Sure. Yep. I don't know if we can bait out the Windy necessarily. See, we definitely should have waited on that. That was stupid. Let's see. Let's do this. Yeah, I think using this card early was very problematic. Well, let me read this. Wow. That's strong. All right. Let's do that. That's like all of her monsters. So we can make a Chorozo. What can we make with this? We have a Spellcaster, a Fiend, a Pyro. I'm worried about this. This card is in your graveyard. You can fusion summon by banishing this card and monsters on your field. Don't know if I want to do that. I don't know what my target is. We'll try to go battle. Beat over. It's like these all get Shaddoll fusion back, which is just such a problem. I think we want to hit the set monsters though. Let's see. We gotta chain it here. Banish itself. Yeah, that's a shame. That's. I think we lose, chat. I think we went for the easy line and it did not work out for us. Let's surrender. I think we should have used the Ghost Ogre on the Lev though. I did not think about that. I don't know how I did not click yes on that prompt. Let's see, we'll do Ogre for this. Do this. These three. Try that. We need one of the. I feel like we need one of these for small worlds. We'll swap out this card for that. All right, let's try going first again. Turns out Shaddoll Fusion, very strong card. Very powerful card, Shaddoll Fusion. Who could predict such a thing? Let's see, we should try to summon the Diabells this game. This. We can use that as fusion material. Summon it back. Which one is the one that summons from grave? I think it's Berthamet. Yes, it is. Let's do that. Let's use this for Berthamet. Using Diabells and other Baphomet. And we get to summon our very cool Floodgate. That's very cool. Everybody loves Floodgates. The thing about them is that everyone likes them. Let's see, we will send Iwas. Summon Diabells. So we'll add this back. We'll activate Chimera Fusion. I don't know if we like want to hand loop them, but I think I'm going to anyway, just out of like familiarity. Then we'll use that to do 1, do 2, we'll do 3. I'm like still not sure if this is correct for this sort of thing. Like the other thing about hand looping them is they could just discard a shit all monster and it's a disaster. Which I'm not like too keen on. All right, let's try a normal summon ALEISTER. Let's see, we'll banish this. She has a response of some sort. I really wonder what it is. Maybe it's like the fire attacker stuff. Let's see. What is Chirozo? 1 fusion and 1 spellcaster monster. Okay, we're definitely sacking this card for Chirozo at some point. Let's see, we will make Babylon. We're just gonna do the comfortable line. I don't want to get too crazy. He's got something though. Bad. Banish 1 from either graveyard. No. Uricom gets the second invocation sword. What could it be? Ghost Ogre. That I think is totally okay. I think we do not care about that. Let's see, we'll do. Don't want to do that yet. We do want to do this. We want to get our ALEISTER into rotation. We want to get our Chirozo. We want to activate this guy. It's like, I think there should be a way to do this and still end on the Chimera Fusion though. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. We'll do Aeon. Right, we've learned our lesson. We'll banish the Ghost Ogre. Then we will banish. We've learned our lesson. We will take Mesh, I think. Let's try taking Mesh. I think it makes sense. Let's do Diabells. Ching this. Sending this. Activating this. Getting this. Doing Philia Diabell for Diabell Star Vengeance. Diabell Star Vengeance, banishing Philia and Curse. Alright, this looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, this looks pretty good. And we'll set our card and wish our opponent good luck. It did trigger Shadal. Very cool. I guess we knew it was coming. Set that. I think it would be fine to use this now. This can pop face downs, right? I think it can. Yep. Okay. I think it's better that she draws 1 on this turn than to discard 1 on next turn. So we will do that. Okay. So Diabelle's has the effect that in order to activate spells, she has to set them first. So what we can do here is we can use Diabelle, or what does this do? Oh, you can, it pops 1 for free. Let's do that. Yeah, sure. No, not the, oh, we should have popped the Chimera. That's my bad. Twin Twister, sure. It's a bait. It's okay. Surely this one's the real one, right, chat? This is the real card. That one's the real card. Oh, we should have no! I clicked no on the prompt. We were supposed to summon Poplar. Okay, it's fine. We went through the power of very cool floodgates. Genesis format. We love floodgates in Genesis format, don't we, chat? I think Dark Ruler is probably kind of bad. I think this card has been less good than I would have hoped. Let's see, let's try that out. Would we want to play this? Card is added to your opponent's hand. You can special summon this from your hand. During your opponent's main phase, you can add 1 monster from your target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but banish it. That could be okay. That could be okay for sure. What would I want to side out for that though? Maybe some like engine cards, like one of this, one of this. Maybe just that. Let's just try that. Right, we opened 1 DD Crow. DD Crow, a little bit of a sleeper choice in this, since we can use it to severely alter what she does, I think. It's like we can use DD Crow to keep all monsters out of the graveyard. Oh, we should have sided out this card. This definitely should not be in going first. Oops. I don't think Diabelle's does very much going first. Wendy, sure. Yep. Wendy sets a card. Set the Squamata. It's very interesting to see another person pilot this deck. It's like she's playing it very differently than how I would, and I think she's playing it better than how I would. This gets the evil back. I don't know if I... Oh, it gets the Decatron, which I guess is fusion material. Shadal fusion, yep. Or excited to see. So it's these 2 for Wendy. Yep. Send. This will send the Brista, I assume. No, Hedgehog. Very interesting. For Grista. Okay. Are we using from hand with it then? Thank you, Monty Tribal, for the follow. We're sending Wendy. Wendy adds a Shadal card or graveyard. Adds it to hand. I think that's okay. Maybe I should have stopped that, actually. Maybe that would have been a good card to Crow. I don't know. I think I know 4 cards in her hand, though. I know the El Shadal. I know the Squamata. I know the Rista and the... Holy shit. Maybe I had to use it there. I banished the Grista. That doesn't do anything, I don't think. I think it's double wins. I think it's a second Wendy. Sure. I can't imagine this is a second mesh. Maybe it is a second mesh. You can use this. This is a soft once per turn. But I don't think stopping her from making a second mesh makes very much sense. I don't know. This I feel like every time I've had DD Crow, I like sit on it until I can't possibly use it anymore. Monty Tribal says, no problem. Glad to see more OOC content. We're expanding into all areas of the internet. A fellow Ohioan. That is I. Let's see. Yeah, Wendy. Okay, that makes sense. So there was no reason to DD Crow there. Yep. Very cool. I'm really sad that I did not keep the Dark Rulers in though, chat. I think that would have been very helpful. The specific forward states. Set the Squamata, I assume. Yep. Set the continuous trap that I'm blanking on the name of. It does seem like a strong board. And then I assume this last card is a shit-all card. I don't think I actually know what it is. I think it's... yeah, I don't know what it is. Okay. Holy shit. Kaiju. Alright. If we were to kaiju a monster, which monster would we want to kaiju? I think for sure it's gotta be Shekinaga. I think it's gotta be Shekinaga. I don't know. If we kaiju Shekinaga, she can just make another one. If we kaiju Wendy, I think that's her last one. So let's try kaijuing Wendy. Let's do that. Now, Wendy does trigger. Gets back a Shadal card. Gets back wrist. I should DD Crow that. Fuck. No, 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 no. Oh, no. We should have definitely DD Crowed that card. Oh, no. I realized right after I clicked X. Oh, shit. That's so bad. It's like this card just doesn't exist to me. Like I see it in my hand and it doesn't do anything. Let's see. Let's do this because this is what we were doing anyway. We gotta do it while it's on the field. Add the Vercom. We'll banish a monster from either graveyard. Let's banish the... Definitely not the evil. I don't think that would help. Let's do... Dragon, I suppose. Let's see, then we gotta do... Gotta summon this here. Then it's like sword, get back. Set the sword. And use the sword effect engrave to get back ALEISTER. We special the ALEISTER. Normal the ALEISTER. We specialed it already. Very interesting. See. Normal it. And we will make Ozo. And here is where we will make our fusion monster. Using this card to banish 3. We gotta banish the Shek and Naga. For sure. This targets. It doesn't target. Holy shit. What does this do? This is a negate, right? Your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your fusion monster's effect. Quick effect. You can banish this card from the field, and if you do, negate that opponent's effect, and if you do, banish that card. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let's see. We will banish set. We will banish this. We will banish. Are we gonna win? I really did not expect that to happen, and lower than this card's level. It's level 10, so I think it will be affected by our level 10 fusion monsters effect. Let's see, let's get rid of this. I think that stands to reason. We will go to battle phase. Attack over the kaiju. We'll go to main phase 2. I think she has Grista left in hand. We'll use this. Let's special. Let's just look at some more cards in her extra deck and banish them. So let's get that. This too. Let's get that actually. Okay. Very cool turn. Let's pass it back over. Sleepy Doll, I don't mean to cheat, but there's a storm going on and I might disappear for a second, make sure my house isn't falling apart. I'm so sorry. Oh no. I am very sorry to hear that. Set of cards. Alright, I think we can wrap this up. Let's see. We'll just do this. We'll banish. Set the Lev and the Hedgehog. We'll take all of these. We'll take all these. Oh, this is really awful. I don't know how I feel about this. I am very sorry that these cards do that. Sleepy doll. But I hope that your house is okay. Thank you for the match. I did have fun in the games that weren't game 3, I think. I think with that, Aeon might be slightly powerful card, but I also still failed to read. Fun games. Yeah, they were fun. It is very strong. I think it's like they did give it points, but maybe it's not enough points. Game 3 was more fun than game 2. Game 2 was a little tough. Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, you know what? Game 2 actually was the worst one. That was the game that you couldn't activate spells. Yeah, that was probably the worst one. Maybe that one was the worst one of the best of 3. Thank you to Ash for the follow. I think with that, it's probably going to be the end of the stream for me. I was gonna do some Slay the Spire, but I think that we will just do that another time. I'm not really feeling it. The main thing that I did today was help my friend move, and I honestly feel exhausted after doing all of that work today. Thanks for letting me get in a few games. I am now convinced that Shadal is not playable in Genesis unless they add another Dark Fusion. Yeah, it's tough, right? Because you want one for the continuous trap, but you also want one to send. And the fact that it's just so many points is so hard. And App Cologne, I feel like, is probably a little power crept these days too, just from what it is able to do compared to other targets. But I had a lot of fun learning to play this deck. Outside of like the really cringe stuff, there's definitely a lot of cool little interactions between like the spellcasters and illusions and fiends in here. It's a lot of like small synergies. But you definitely want to draw the chimera cards over the invoked cards since the engine is much deeper on that side. 3 hours is a solid stream time in your opinion, especially if you've helped someone move, so make sure to rest up. I agree. Thank you for somebody else saying that. Which gives me an excuse to stop. I had a lot of fun though. With that, I have been out of characters, so this is the end of my stream. Now we get to do my favorite part, which is raid somebody. Yeah, please take care of your house. That is very important. Let's find a channel that I follow, and we can see if we can raid them. Who do we have on here who is streaming? We have Mr. GGYGO, known for the Where to Hand Trap guides. I'm going to send you all over to him. You can go say hi to GGYGO on my behalf and let him check out how his NATS testing is going, which hopefully has gone better than mine. Have a good night, everybody.